There comes a moment in life when the weight we carry is not ours to bear, when the hands that once held us now only hold us back, when the doors that once opened wide now stand closed and unwelcoming. It is in that moment that we face a choice: to stay where we are, bound by familiarity, or to walk away toward the unknown. Walking away is often misunderstood. Many believe that staying, enduring, and fighting for something, whether it be a relationship, a job, a friendship, or a way of life, is the mark of true strength. They associate leaving with defeat, as though turning your back on something is an act of surrender. But in truth, walking away is not weakness. It is one of the greatest demonstrations of strength a person can show. It takes courage to step away from something familiar, even when that thing is causing pain. People stay in places that no longer serve them because they are afraid of the unknown. They remain in relationships that drain them because they are afraid of loneliness. They hold on to jobs that make them miserable because the idea of starting over seems terrifying. The human mind clings to comfort, even at the cost of happiness. But true strength lies in recognizing when something no longer serves your soul and having the bravery to let it go. Walking away requires a level of self-awareness that many struggle to achieve. It is far easier to make excuses, to justify staying, to convince yourself that things might change if you only try a little harder. But the truth is, some things will never change, no matter how much effort you pour into them, and recognizing that reality is not a failure, it is wisdom. Strength is not found in how long you can endure suffering, but in your ability to stand up and say, "This is no longer for me." When you walk away, you take ownership of your life. You stop waiting for people to treat you better, for a situation to magically improve, for life to somehow become what you wish it to be. Instead, you choose to create your own path, to demand more for yourself, to seek something greater. Strength is not in staying stuck, it is in movement. It is in refusing to be held captive by fear or obligation. It is in deciding that you deserve more and being willing to go after it. Many fear the judgment that comes with walking away. Society often glorifies perseverance, and people worry that leaving something behind will make them look weak in the eyes of others. But strength is not measured by how long you endure. It is measured by your ability to recognize when something is no longer right for you and take action. The strongest people in the world are not those who never walk away, but those who know when to. Walking away does not mean you are giving up. It means you are choosing yourself. It means you are refusing to settle for less than what you deserve. It means you have enough faith in yourself to believe that something better is out there, that you are capable of finding it, and that you are strong enough to build a new life from the ground up. Most people never leave situations that break them because they fear that the unknown will be worse. They convince themselves that, at least in their current pain, they know what to expect. But those who are truly strong understand that sometimes the greatest risks bring the greatest rewards. They know that real happiness cannot be found in places that make them feel small. They understand that walking away is not an act of weakness, but of self-respect. It is easy to stay. It is easy to settle. It is easy to let fear convince you that you are better off where you are. But it is not easy to walk away. It takes resilience, self-belief, and an unwavering commitment to your own well-being. And that is why walking away is not weakness. It is one of the greatest acts of strength a person can ever show. Leaving something behind is never easy. There is a certain comfort in familiarity, even when that familiarity is holding you back. People often stay in places, relationships, and situations long after they should have left because they are afraid of what comes next. They cling to what they know, convincing themselves that even if they are unhappy, at least they are safe. But what they fail to realize is that by staying, they are not protecting themselves. They are preventing their own growth. Walking away is not just about leaving something behind, it is about creating space for something better. Life has a way of filling the spaces we leave open. When you continue to hold on to things that no longer serve you, you block the opportunities that are meant for you. You cannot grasp something new if your hands are full of what no longer belongs to you. It is in the letting go that transformation begins. When you step away from situations that drain you, you allow room for healing. When you walk away from relationships that no longer uplift you, you make space for connections that bring you joy. When you leave behind an environment that stifles your potential, you open yourself to possibilities you never imagined. Both cannot happen in confinement. When you remain in a place that does not challenge or inspire you, you stagnate. It may feel safe, but safety is not the same as fulfillment. True growth requires discomfort. It requires stepping into the unknown, embracing uncertainty, and trusting that something greater awaits you. Walking away is not about escaping hardship, but about choosing a path that allows you to expand, to evolve, to become the person you were meant to be. Most people resist change because it is unsettling. The thought of leaving behind what they know, even if it is painful, is daunting. But what they fail to see is that staying in the wrong place is far more dangerous than stepping into the unknown. The greatest regrets in life are not the chances taken, but the opportunities missed. By staying in a situation that no longer serves you, you are not just holding on to the past, you are sacrificing your future. The moment you walk away, something shifts. The weight you have been carrying begins to lift. The doubts that once clouded your mind start to fade. Clarity replaces confusion, and suddenly you begin to see what was always there but hidden beneath fear. You start to recognize your own worth, your own strength, your own ability to create the life you deserve. And as you move forward, doors begin to open, ones you never noticed before, ones that lead to places you never thought you could reach. Leaving is not always about rejection. Sometimes it is about redirection. What you walk away from is just as important as what you walk toward. Every time you release something that no longer aligns with who you are, you align yourself with something greater. Life is always moving, always changing, always presenting new opportunities, but you can only receive them if you make space for them, and that space is only created when you have the courage to walk away. Some people will tell you that leaving is a mistake. They will say that you should have tried harder, stayed longer, endured more. But they do not have to live your life. You do. They do not wake up with your burdens, carry your struggles, or feel the weight of your unhappiness. Only you can decide what is right for you. And when you finally choose to walk away, you will realize that it was never about loss. It was about making room for something far greater than you ever imagined. Power is not something that is given, it is something that is taken. Many people go through life believing that their circumstances, their relationships, and the people around them dictate their worth and direction. They wait for permission to be happy, to succeed, to move forward. But what they do not realize is that every time they stay in a situation that drains them, every time they allow someone else's opinion to define their choices, they are giving away their power. Walking away is not just about leaving something behind, it is about reclaiming control over your own life. When you stay in a situation that no longer serves you, you allow it to dictate your emotions, your energy, and your future. You wake up every day carrying the weight of something that does not align with who you are or where you want to be. You convince yourself that staying is the right thing, that if you just try harder, things will change. Some things are meant to be left behind. Strength is not measured by how long you endure, it is measured by your ability to recognize when something is no longer meant for you and having the courage to walk away. Reclaiming your power begins with a decision. The moment you choose to step away from what no longer fulfills you, you take back control. You stop allowing external forces to dictate your life. You stop seeking validation from those who do not see your worth. You stop giving energy to things that do not nourish your soul. Walking away is not about proving a point to anyone else. It is about proving to yourself that you are worthy of more. Fear keeps people stuck. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of regret. But what people fail to realize is that staying in the wrong place is a far greater risk than leaving it. When you walk away, you are not losing, you are choosing. Choosing yourself, choosing your future, choosing to take back the power that was always yours. The moment you stop waiting for circumstances to change and start taking action, you shift from being a victim of your situation to the creator of your own destiny. There is a profound shift that happens when you walk away from something that is no longer meant for you. You feel lighter, stronger, more in control. You start to see opportunities that were hidden behind the distractions of a toxic environment. You begin to attract people and situations that align with your values and aspirations. Walking away does not just remove negativity, it makes space for something better. It sends a message to yourself and to the world that you refuse to settle for anything less than what you deserve. People will question your decision. They will tell you that you are making a mistake, that you should have stayed, that you should have tried harder. But those people are not living your life. They do not feel the exhaustion, the frustration, the slow erosion of your happiness. Only you know what is best for you. Only you can decide when enough is enough. And when you finally choose to walk away, you will realize that you were never powerless at all. You just needed to take back what was always yours. Peace is not something that is handed to you, it is something you create. Many people live their lives in a constant state of inner turmoil, weighed down by situations that bring them nothing but stress and uncertainty. They hold on to relationships that drain them, jobs that suffocate them, and habits that keep them stuck. They convince themselves that enduring discomfort is the price they must pay for security, for love, for acceptance. But the truth is, nothing is worth the cost of your inner peace. Walking away is not just about removing yourself from something painful. It is about choosing to protect your mind, your heart, and your well-being. When you stay in situations that disturb your peace, you sacrifice your own happiness. You find yourself constantly justifying why you feel drained, why your energy is low, why you never feel truly at ease. You wake up carrying a weight that should not be yours to bear. Yet, you stay because you believe that leaving will be too difficult, too painful, too uncertain. You tell yourself that things might get better, that if you just try harder, push through a little longer, the stress will fade. But deep down you know the truth. Some things are simply not meant to be endured. Some things are meant to be left behind. Walking away is an act of self-respect. It is a declaration that your well-being matters, that your peace is not up for negotiation. It is understanding that no situation, no person, and no obligation should cost you your inner stability. People spend years, sometimes entire lifetimes, trapped in environments that steal their joy. They let toxic relationships define them, unhealthy work cultures consume them, and self-doubt control them. They become prisoners of their own unwillingness to let go, but the moment you decide that your peace is a priority, everything changes. The moment you choose to walk away from what disrupts your sense of calm, you take the first step toward a life that truly belongs to you. Many people fear that walking away means losing something valuable. They hold on to relationships even when they bring more pain than happiness because they fear loneliness. They stay in jobs that drain them because they fear uncertainty. They keep toxic friendships because they fear judgment. But the irony is that the things we fear losing are often the very things holding us back from experiencing real peace. Letting go does not mean losing. It means creating space for something better. It means recognizing that true peace is not found in attachment, but in alignment. The moment you walk away from what no longer serves you, clarity begins to emerge. The noise that once filled your mind starts to fade. The anxiety that once felt permanent begins to loosen its grip. You start to see life differently, to breathe more freely, to feel lighter. Peace is not just about the absence of conflict, it is about the presence of alignment. It is knowing that your life reflects your values, that your environment nourishes your soul, that your energy is spent on things that uplift rather than exhaust you. Walking away does not mean you are weak. It does not mean you are running from your problems. It means you are choosing yourself. It means you are refusing to live a life dictated by guilt, by obligation, by fear. It means you are protecting the most valuable thing you have, your inner peace. There will always be voices telling you to stay, to endure, to keep fighting for something that is breaking you. But the strongest thing you can do is recognize when something is no longer worth the fight. Walking away is not about giving up, it is about setting yourself free. Growth is impossible without change. Many people long for transformation, yet they cling to the very things that hold them back. They wish for a better life, for new opportunities, for a fresh start, yet they remain rooted in places that stifle them. They stay in friendships that drain their energy, in careers that do not inspire them, in environments that keep them small. They convince themselves that staying is the safer choice, that stability is more important than progress. But growth and comfort do not coexist. Walking away is not just about leaving something behind. It is about stepping into the person you are meant to become. Every season of life demands a different version of you. Who you were 5 years ago is not who you are today, and who you are today is not who you are meant to be tomorrow. Growth requires shedding old layers, releasing outdated beliefs, and letting go of anything that no longer aligns with your future. It requires courage to acknowledge that some relationships, habits, and environments have served their purpose and must be left behind. There is no shame in outgrowing people or places. It is not a betrayal, it is a natural part of evolving. Just as a tree must shed its leaves to make room for new growth, you too must release what no longer serves you to step into your next chapter. Many people resist change because they fear the unknown. They worry that if they leave, they may never find something better. They fear loneliness, regret, failure. But what they do not realize is that staying in the wrong place is the real risk. Growth requires movement. It requires walking away from comfort and stepping into uncertainty with faith. The greatest transformations do not happen in places of familiarity. They happen in the unknown, in the moments when you choose to trust that something greater awaits you. The longer you resist change, the more you delay your own evolution. When you walk away from what no longer nurtures you, you make space for something new. Opportunities begin to appear where there were none before. You attract relationships that reflect your new mindset. You discover strengths you never knew you had. Walking away is an act of self-investment. It is choosing to create a life that aligns with your values, passions, and aspirations. It is refusing to settle for less than what you deserve. It is stepping into your power and allowing yourself to grow into the person you were always meant to be. There will always be people who do not understand your decision to leave. They will question you, judge you, and try to convince you to stay. They will project their fears onto you because they do not have the courage to make the same choice for themselves. But their journey is not yours. Growth is deeply personal. It cannot be explained or justified to those who are not meant to walk the same path. The only person who needs to understand your decision is you. The only approval you need is your own. The moment you stop seeking validation and start trusting yourself, you will realize that walking away was not an ending, it was a beginning. Nothing changes until you decide to change. The life you desire will not come to you while you remain in places that drain you. Growth is not passive, it is a choice. It is a decision to walk away from what no longer fits, to embrace the discomfort of the unknown, and to trust that what is ahead is greater than what is left behind. The moment you take that first step, everything shifts, doors open, clarity emerges, and you step into a version of yourself that is stronger, wiser, and more aligned with the life you were meant to live. Walking away is not just about leaving something behind, it is about finding yourself again. People lose themselves in places, relationships, and situations that do not honor who they truly are. They adjust, they compromise, they shrink, all in the name of keeping the peace, maintaining stability, or avoiding discomfort. Over time, they forget their own voice, their own dreams, their own worth. They become a version of themselves that pleases others, but suffocates their own spirit. The longer they stay, the more distant they become from the person they were meant to be. Walking away is not about abandoning responsibility, it is about reclaiming the essence of who you are. Life has a way of molding people into roles they never intended to play. They become who they think they need to be for their families, their jobs, their friends, and society. They measure their worth by external approval rather than internal fulfillment. They tolerate treatment they would never wish upon someone they love. They silence their own needs in fear of disappointing others. But the cost of this sacrifice is far too great. When you deny your own truth, you begin to wither. The fire inside you dims. The dreams you once held so tightly slip through your fingers. You become a stranger to yourself, lost in a life that no longer feels like your own. Walking away is not weakness, it is strength. It is having the courage to admit that you deserve more. It is choosing yourself in a world that constantly tells you to choose everything and everyone else first. It is recognizing that your happiness is not a luxury, but a necessity. It is understanding that staying in a place that drains you is not noble, it is self-betrayal. People convince themselves that enduring misery is the honorable thing to do, that staying in unhealthy relationships or toxic environments proves their resilience. But real strength is not found in enduring suffering. Real strength is found in the ability to walk away and rebuild. When you walk away, you do not lose yourself. You find yourself again. You remember what it feels like to breathe freely, to wake up without the weight of resentment pressing against your chest. You reconnect with your passions, your values, your sense of purpose. You begin to listen to your own voice instead of the expectations of others. You rediscover the version of yourself that once felt limitless before you were shaped by the fears and limitations of the world around you. The further you step away from what is not meant for you, the closer you get to what is. People will try to convince you that walking away is selfish, that you are making a mistake, that you should stay and make things work. But those who truly care about you will want to see you thrive, not just survive. The people who benefit from your silence, from your self-sacrifice, will always be the loudest in trying to keep you where you are. But their fears and insecurities are not yours to carry. You do not owe anyone an explanation for prioritizing your own well-being. The only person who needs to believe in your decision is you. Nothing is more powerful than a person who has found themselves again. The moment you walk away from what no longer serves you, you begin to radiate a different energy. You become stronger, more certain, more at peace. You stop seeking validation from the outside world because you have found it within yourself. You realize that you were never lost. You were simply buried under the weight of things that were never meant to be yours. Walking away does not mean losing. It means returning. It means standing in your own power, embracing your own truth, and finally becoming the person you were always meant to be. Walking away is not the end of your story, it is the beginning of a new chapter, one where you choose yourself, your growth, and your happiness. It is an act of courage, a declaration that you refuse to settle for less than you deserve. The moment you step away from what no longer serves you, you reclaim your power, your purpose, and your true self. The road ahead may be uncertain, but it holds infinite possibilities. Trust that leaving behind the wrong things creates space for the right ones. Walk forward with confidence. Your best life is waiting.